A lot of people either can't afford straight away to hire a team of professionals. Some people have a hybrid of third parties, contractors, project commission-based self-employed people and employees. So there is a benefit, obviously, of not putting a mass number of people on the payroll. You can pay project by project, commission only, hour by hour. There's a number of pros and there's a number of cons. So obviously, if they're employed by you, they're tied to a legally binding contract. They should only really be working for you, although you can agree and consent for them to work elsewhere. Hopefully they've got a long-term goal with you. You can train them. They become an integral part of your business. So how do you retain them? How do you keep them with you in a business? Perhaps you can't afford to give them the market salary right now as you're scaling. So a lot of ways that people do entice people to them and retain them are things like options. So when the business is sold or acquires investment, they then can reap the benefits with you. That does two things. It incentivizes them to stay, build the business with you and aligns the goals with you. But it also means if they leave, they lose all of that. So it's not just a salary they lose the shares and the money associated with that when the business is sold or an investor comes in. So some of the clever tax structuring that you can do in the UK is an EMI option scheme. Tax advice is very important when you're giving any incentives to your staff, even if it's private healthcare or a car. Who's paying the tax? Who's liable for what? So again, make sure that you structure it so you both understand the tax liabilities. Often we find that enticing people and retaining people is not just about salaries. You can offer benefits like annual leave. If they've got an active private healthcare claim, they're unlikely to leave you for another company. So don't just think about options, but think of other benefits and pensions. It's very important to also understand that if you do take employees on beyond their probation period, you are going to have to set up a pension scheme. Very simple, doesn't necessarily cost you to set up. You can do it through a government nest scheme, just means that you have to contribute. That's a legal requirement for UK employment. Now, if you don't want to go down that route and you want just self-employed people, commission by commission, project by project, that's absolutely fine. You can still have a robust contract and relationship with them until you're ready to take on staff.